Dragon Ball is one of, if not the greatest anime to ever exist, and personally, it is my favorite, as I've stated multiple times on this channel, if you couldn't already tell just by looking at my channel. Which, I mean, I guess I do have a lot of like Demon Slayer videos, and that's actually what started my channel. But either way, today, as you could tell from the title and thumbnail, is about Dragon Ball. As I've also stated in like my last video that I would make more Dragon Ball videos. I don't know how many much more, but more. Also, as you can tell from the title and thumbnail, today will be an interesting kind of concept. I guess it's not that interesting because, I mean, it's thought about, talked about, and it's even in Sparking Zero. What if Goku Black wasn't Goku and instead a different character like Gohan? Now, this isn't a new thought, okay? Fun fact, I've actually already made this take, you know, months ago, like maybe even almost a year ago when I first started my, you know, content creator career on TikTok, where basically I just kind of gave a brief rundown of what if Goku Black was actually Gohan Black. Like, not like, oh, take off the Goku Black mask, I'm actually Gohan, but like instead of Goku Black, it was Gohan Black. And I originally got that idea because of Sparking Zero, which I have played on this channel, so you know what I'm saying, if you want to go watch that, I'd appreciate that. But I've always had a problem with the Goku Black saga. It just felt kind of misplaced. It just felt kind of, I don't know, it always felt a little bit forced to me. Like, it just felt kind of random in the middle of an arc, which it technically is in the middle of an arc leading up to the Tournament of Power. So I always just felt it was kind of just weird, or like taking away Goku's focus from the main plot of Super. And I actually think the Sparking Zero side story, what if story, actually kind of explained it away in a way that makes sense, which what I just said did not make sense. But I don't want to give too much away in the intro, so if you want to get more into what I'm exactly talking about, more into this video, then make sure to like, comment, subscribe to join GLD, and to let me know you like this type of content. And since you like this type of content, make sure to turn on post notifications so you don't miss the content that you literally like. And last but not least, to a friend or family member, could be anybody. Helps the channel grow, the content grow, and so you don't have to watch alone. It could really truly be anybody. It could be your brother, sister, niece, nephew, son, daughter, mom, dad, aunt, uncle, grandma, granddad. So like I said, I've already made this golden take months ago, maybe a year ago, on TikTok after I played Sparking Zero, when I first started off my golden take series. Anime hot takes so hot that they're golden, because, you know, I'm Goldie, GLD, when it was still just a TikTok and YouTube short series. It wasn't me making full form videos. And I actually kind of want to go back to that kind of format just a little bit here today, where they're kind of, well, I guess not really formally, professionally formatted. They're more just kind of like a yap sesh. I'm just kind of just throwing out ideas, you know, a golden take, because I don't know, it just felt more, I guess, natural, just, you know, my thoughts or whatever, but just to change things up a little bit, right? So with that being said, what if Zamasu decided to steal Gohan's body instead of Goku? As I said, originally this video came from Sparking Zero, which again, I played on this channel. So if you want to go watch it, well, I mean, just go to my channel and watch it, okay? I'll leave a title card at the end of the video. So first off, so obviously, as you know, in our videos, we like to segregate our videos into 3 different parts, which are not going to be as formal this time, but I first want to briefly explain, I don't want this video to go too long, who Zamasu is and his like aspirations and why he stole Goku Black's body, leading into like the impact of the story, and then obviously going into how the story would be different and implications of it if instead of Goku it was Gohan, right? Taking what Sparking Zero did and kind of formulating my own ideas and story based on what Sparking Zero did. So obviously, first off, we know Zamasu. Zamasu is from Universe 10, and he was a Supreme Kai in training, an apprentice to Goas, or Goasu, Zamasu, Goas, Zamasu. Essentially, his whole ideology is that mortals are essentially just basically failures, and then he lists all the reasons why they're failures. Obviously, you know, the concept that all mortals are like barbarians, as we saw when Goas took Zamasu to the barbarian planet, I think it was just called, and they were just like beating the shit out of each other with clubs and shit like cavemen. But obviously his idea that humans or mortals are just awful, a sentiment that has existed since pretty much human beings have existed, or like at least the concept of some sort of civilization, especially modern civilization, where, you know, we've kind of ruined the planet. Like we're like a virus, right? Like we kind of just go places, take take it, destroy everything, take it over, call it our own, and then we just, you know, kind of inject ourselves into everything, create our own countries and stuff like that. And we go to war and we fight over stupid shit and we do a lot of stupid shit. So, you know, like, you know, it's that kind of ideal, right? Which, you know, a lot of villains have. I mean, even that one Dracula guy from that one Hotel Transylvania type anime where, like, the Vampire King, like, just, anyways, that's... Zamasu was already on this track. He was already on this track of, you know, he wants to enact the Zero Mortals plan. And then having his fight with Goku was the final trigger. A lot of people just chalk it up to he got his ass beat one time and crashed out. Like, no, he was already going to do it. It's just Goku was the last thing that happened to it. But he was going to do it anyways. It's just Goku was also part of that. It wasn't that as if Goku was the only reason. Like, he was already going to do it. I mean, he's lived for millions of years, bro. Like, he's a Kai. He's a god. You know, it's not as if one Goku fight messed him up. That was just a part of it. So after his fight with Goku, he decides mortals cannot be this powerful. Mortals don't deserve the power. You know how the story goes. So he hates mortals for doing everything that they do, right? Believes that mortals are getting out of hand, but he also spurns other Kais for allowing mortals to become the way they are now, to become as powerful as Goku, and not just as powerful, but just, you know, by just doing everything that mortals do, just by existing, starting wars, but mostly about the power, mostly about power. That's like the main priority. And he spurns gods for letting mortals get this powerful, because, you know, obviously the gods, supreme Kais are born into, that's just how they are. Xeno, born, that's just how they are. Angels, born, that's how. Gods of destruction you can earn being a god of destruction, like especially like we see with Toppo and Jiren. Like, you can, and even Goku, but like Toppo is a god of destruction in training. Being as strong as a god, or stronger like Jiren, is different from being a god of destruction in training, at least I think in his eyes. But either way, gets the Super Dragon Balls, steals Goku's body, kills Goku with it, kills all the other Kais. I don't remember entirely which one he does first. So then all the gods of destruction are dead because all the Supreme Kais are dead. Destroys the Super Dragon Balls so they can't be used again. Then he goes back in time to his universe and recruits himself. Obviously, you know, we know that before he even fights Goku, Beerus goes back into the past to kill him, but that doesn't do anything because he has a time ring. So anything that happens in the past doesn't affect him, especially since, you know, it's Dragon Ball is a multiverse. It's not a, most modern shows that deal with time travel are multiverses, or subscribe to multiverse theory. You know, time isn't on a line. Goes back, recruits himself to then enact the Zero Mortals plan, and decides to start off in the timeline where our future Trunks is, as I like to call him, alternate Trunks. And as we know, that's where the story starts for us, where Goku Black is revealed to Trunks, and Trunks escapes to go to the past to tell Goku and Vegeta and request for help. And going back to the reason why he stole Goku's body is because, as far as he was concerned, Goku was the strongest mortal, and specifically the main mortal that triggered him into enacting this plan. Basically, you know, like the final straw, as I was saying before, that was the mortal that he came in direct contest with, that contested him in terms of strength, and he wasn't even using his full strength. Goku was only in Super Saiyan 2. He could have went up to Super Saiyan Blue, so that now all the gods of destruction are dead, so that there'd be effectively nobody to stop him, because he would be the strongest now. And then he had to keep fighting with using Goku's body to unlock Goku's abilities and how to use the mortal body. Obviously they fused together, and then he was like half mortal, immortal, so then it didn't work. But that's not what this video is about. So, and as I mentioned in the intro briefly before, is that I've always kind of had qualms with the Goku Black arc. It kind of takes place almost randomly between two arcs. The biggest irk I've had with the arc is that it just felt not entirely like fan service, a little bit about fan service, you know, with the whole evil Goku concept that fans have been, you know, fanficking about for years. Modern Dragon Ball, there seems to be a lot of nostalgic bait, you know, with like Cell Max and even the Granola arc, very similar to the Cell arc. But the main qualm is that it always just felt like, why does it have to be Goku? Which, I mean, obviously it makes sense because he's the main character. He's, you know, the strongest according to Zamasu's eyes. But it just felt like bringing Trunks back right, to it be a Goku show again. Like, we're making Trunks just feels like the messenger in this story, which I suppose, I guess he always kind of was the messenger, even starting off back in Z when he came back, when he initially was introduced into the story to tell Goku about the androids, you know, coming in the future, in 3 years into the future. But Trunks was still the main character of his own show. He was still he still fought the androids himself. He still defeated the androids and Cell, and later obviously Boo, Dabura, and Babidi by himself. So it just felt like, instead of him warning Goku and Vegeta about a threat, but he already dealt with a threat, or he was going to deal with the threat on his own, and, you know, play a pivotal role, especially with his training with Vegeta. It seemed more so he was coming in saying, hey, do my job for me. And it just didn't feel personal to Trunks. Like, obviously, yes, Goku Black, very much a threat to the entire universe, you know, to the timeline, as obviously at the end became the timeline, became the universe. But it just felt like we were introducing Trunks for no reason. Like, you could have just said Zama stole Goku's body and then beat the shit out of Goku and Vegeta in the main timeline. It just felt like Trunks was unnecessary, is basically what I'm getting at. We didn't need to have Trunks introduce the threat. It didn't feel like a Trunks coming back arc. It just felt like Goku Black arc, but for some reason future Trunks is there too. He's just spectating. He's a cheerleader. And I know, of course, he had the finishing blow, but he didn't really contribute much. I mean, he fought Zamasu to reveal that he was immortal, but it just felt like he had a very small role. So now when Sparking Zero comes around and introduces what if stories, it adds a what if story to the Goku Black arc. And that what if story is, honestly, I thought it was going to go the Goten Black route to make Goten relevant, but actually did something that's maybe even better, probably even better. Gohan Black, which it would have been kind of cool if it was like the future Gohan style, but it's just like our version Gohan. And the way Sparking Zero handles it, I actually kind of like, and probably would use in my own, I guess, fanfic of rewriting the Goku Black arc. So again, we're going back again to the Resurrection No F arc, where, you know, Frieza comes back and Gohan is the main defender. He's the protector of Earth this time, because Goku and Vegeta can't be contacted at the moment. So basically the whole arc revolves around Gohan never stopping his training after Boo in the Battle of Gods arc. So basically Gohan is a bum in that green ass tracksuit. I mean, he's still in the green ass tracksuit, but he's not a bum. He's kept up his training, right? Gohan in this what if scenario does exactly what he did in the manga versus in the Kefla fight, because of course, as you know, in the manga Gohan defeated Kefla in his base form, mind you, base form, instead of Goku defeating Kefla in Ultra Instinct, which I prefer the manga, period, over Dragon Ball in general, but especially in this fight. Basically, Gohan in his Kefla fight, he no longer has the transformer potential unleashed, he just always is at his max potential, which would make way more sense logistically speaking than you have to transform to your fullest potential, right? Which doesn't really make any sense. I mean, obviously Super Saiyan makes sense because you're transforming to a different state of being. It would make more sense because, you know, the Guru or Elder Kai release your full potential. Now you're just at it at all times. All that dormant potential, all that dormant power held within your body is brought to the forefront, and now you're it's fully released. It's not as if it's activated like a, you know, like a lever. Like it just brings it out of you to where your base form is elevated rather than you having to transform into, because your potential max would be your base form. So effectively that's what he does in this what if scenario. He is able to just have, so basically his potential unleashed no longer has to be transformed into, it's just in his base form now. But he's also kept up his training to where he's on par with Super Saiyan Blue Goku, like he was later in the anime, you know, while they were training, while Goku was, you know, choosing who his 10 combatants were going to be in the Tournament of Power. So basically in this scenario, in the Resurrection No F arc, he's as strong as Super Saiyan Blue Goku, which he should have been in the first place, in his base form, because his base form is now his potential unleashed form, kind of like how, you know, Goku is starting to use Ultra Instinct in his base form in the manga, and he's also applying his Ultra Instinct form to his other transformations. With that being said, Gohan is able to defeat Frieza by himself. So basically with that said, Gohan, since he's as strong as Super Saiyan Blue Goku in the Resurrection of F arc, he's able to defeat Frieza quite soundly and basically prove to be the strongest on Earth at least. And so Zamasu decides to steal Gohan's body because it's basically implied that Gohan is the strongest, so he decides to steal Gohan's body. And so when Goku Black is revealed to Trunks, it's Gohan, but it's like our Gohan, so it's not like the messed up arm Gohan. But in my mind, in my scenario, because he's stealing Gohan's body, the only body of Gohan he would have access to is the future or alternate universe Gohan, like the one with the different hairstyle. You're seeing an image on screen. He's missing an arm, also being consistent with my original take, with that being that future Gohan. It'd be future Gohan Black, basically. It'd be future Gohan Black, missing an arm and everything. And so, like, Trunks would, like, the PTSD would immediately be rewoken through Trunks. He start tweaking, crashing out, and then we can kind of follow Trunks as, like, the main character of this arc. And he can still ask Goku and Vegeta for help and everything, but they will be in the background, and Trunks will be in the foreground, because this would actually be a Trunks arc. So Trunks would basically be the main character of this little mini arc, and Goku and Gohan can still obviously be there because they would need him, because future Gohan would have Rose or potential unleashed. He has potential unleashed. Gohan Black has potential unleashed in the what if scenario in Sparking Zero. He doesn't have Rose. In my version, it'd be future Gohan Black, and he would have Rose, right? And so, like, obviously he can like when he makes his key sword, he can get his arm back that way or something like that. And speaking of transformations, perhaps Super Saiyan Rage make a bit more sense, narratively at least. The transformation still doesn't make any sense, because you can ask 10 people what Super Saiyan Rage is, you're going to get 11 different responses, because it's never explained. It's just straight fanfic, right? And headcanon. And so at least narratively, this would maybe make Super Saiyan Rage make more sense, because he's bringing out the rage and PTSD of him watching his mentor and big brother figure die, and then, like, it activates Super Saiyan Rage. Or, like, he's angry at Zamasu for desecrating his mentor's body and disrespecting his death, and so on and so forth. So I think it'd be a much better narrative for Trunks, but not just Trunks, but also Gohan, because that would effectively, if we're going the Sparking Zero route, that would make Gohan, at least to me, a much more likable and enjoyable character, and it would also make him not be viewed as a bum, or not like as a bum in terms of, like, obviously he takes care of his family, loves his family, but a bum in terms of fighting. Like, obviously, he's not a bum literally in general, but just in fighting, he's just like, come on, dude. Which, don't get me wrong, I still enjoy Gohan as a character. I just, this is a Dragon Ball. Okay, this isn't Vinland Saga. We're here to throw hands, not be scholars. Go be in Dr. Stone or something. This ain't slice of life anime. Also, speaking of transformations, future Gohan Black wouldn't necessarily have Rose, because he wouldn't be stealing Goku. Goku is the only one that goes Super Saiyan Blue. Future Gohan can only go to Super Saiyan, like, Max. But then again, in the manga, Goku Black went Super Saiyan, and his Super Saiyan was equal to Goku and Vegeta's Super Saiyan Blue. So, obviously, as we saw, Goku Black's base form was as strong as Super Saiyan 2 or 3 Goku. Well, specifically Super Saiyan 2. Future Gohan Black's base power level could probably be as strong as Super Saiyan 2 Trunks' power level, and then he goes Super Saiyan on top of that, and it's as strong as Goku Super Saiyan God or Super Saiyan Blue, and that's where Goku and Vegeta can step in, right? So Trunks could probably mostly handle it, like stalemated base form, but then it's like, oh, he transformed, I can't handle it. That's where now I gotta go get Goku and Vegeta to come here and help me out, right? Also, it adds more, relevance to, like, side characters. Obviously, now it's like the Goku Vegeta show, and, like, the side characters don't really have a reason to exist in the story. But my philosophy has always been, if you introduce a character in the story, they should always be doing something. It doesn't have to be necessarily relevant to the plot. Like, for example, Krillin still is in the story. He doesn't fight all the time. He's a police officer. He's retired with 18, has a kid. Yamcha is a professional baseball player. Tien is, he has his own dojo, and so on and so forth. Like, all the side characters are still in the story. They still do stuff, and they still sometimes come in to help fight, right? So I'm fine with that. They don't have to. I'm not saying Trunks has to be a main character. He has to be introduced in the story and, like, stay forever. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying I just like to know that he's doing something that actually matters, or not actually matters, but it'd be better for his character and make more sense, because the Goku Black arc, to me, it doesn't really make too much sense to me. I mean, look, I love Goku Black. He's he's amazing, but at the same time, it doesn't really make too much sense, at least to me. You know, I've once heard that you can take all the Dragon Ball Super arcs and rearrange them, and it would still all make sense, like narrative-wise, because it kind of just seems like different arcs randomly put together, except for like Tournament of Power. Well, even still, you can kind of put the Tournament of Power anywhere, and you could just like, obviously, you can rewrite it to where like, you know, rewrite the transformations and everything. Dragon Ball Super is mostly like tournaments. Obviously, it has a theme of like the divine and gods, but it's mostly just like comprised of tournaments, and then you have like Goku Black in there, right? You have like Tournament of Power, you have like the 2 tournaments, like the Universe 6 tournament, and like the tournament like before the Tournament of Power to decide. It was like the 3v3, like with Gohan, Piccolo, and Goku, and they fought Topo, and then you have Goku Black in there out of nowhere. It's like, bro, what? So I just felt like this would make Trunks more relevant. Obviously, it made Gohan more relevant because now he's at the power he's supposed to be already. Obviously, great character development from both characters, and it would explain Super Saiyan Rage, at least narratively, right? It wouldn't explain where it came from, but you could just say it's just Super Saiyan 2 with a rage boost. Super Saiyan 2 Zenkai. You could just, you know what I mean? Just Super Saiyan 2 Zenkai. I mean, Zenkai boost isn't a rage boost. It's like a near death boost, but it could just be explained away like that, and I think people would generally be alright with that. At least I mostly would, because I do really enjoy Zamasu as a character. I like his whole, I think he's one of the better characters. I like his whole like I guess motivation. Like, he feels like a real villain, right? Like, he feels like a villain that actually has a reason to be villainous, whereas like other villains are kind of just like, for example, like Boo was just evil for the sake of being evil. He was just created evil or born evil. It's like, okay, we got to go beat his ass because he's just evil. He's like a natural disaster, exists, and he destroys everything in sight without, he doesn't have a brain, so he doesn't think, he just exists, right? And then you have Cell, who was created specifically to kill Goku. I mean, he's pretty funny. You have Frieza, who's an intergalactic emperor, which, you know, I guess makes sense. Like, you'd have to be a tyrant, you know, to be an intergalactic emperor, I guess, right? I guess you don't have to be a tyrant, but his evilness, I suppose, makes sense because he is an intergalactic tyrant. He's not just evil for the sake of being evil because, well, he rules effectively the entire universe. So it's like he has, I don't want to say the right to be evil, but it makes sense for him to be evil, if that makes, like, he has all the power. So it's like, you know, you probably be evil too if you had all this power. Like, who gonna stop you? You know what I mean? Absolute power corrupts absolutely, right? Vegeta's evil because he was a slave to Frieza. So I mean, indoctrination, conscription, and then by virtue, all the Saiyans. Beerus isn't evil, he's got instruction, is his job, right? He's not even really a villain. And then we can get into movie villains like Cooler or Broly, but Broly technically isn't a movie villain, at least now, not in Super. Cooler, Frieza 2.0. So I mean, we can, you know, Bojack basically just Broly, but he's a pirate instead of a Saiyan. Either way, all the other villains of Dragon Ball are kind of just like, yeah, they're just villains because they're villains. But I mean, they're a little bit more complicated, but just in layman's terms. But Zamasu is actually a villain that, like, he's meticulated this entire plan of how exactly he's going to go about his evilness, right? He's not just, oh, I'm evil and I want to hurt. Like, he's very formulated, he's very pragmatic and detailed about his plan of going about destroying all mortals. Like, he has a case of mortals doing all these misdeeds that leads up to him making that decision. Him deciding to steal Gohan's body over Goku's also makes it a bit less petty, at least in terms of the fan base, or at least the side of the fan base that thinks he started all this because of Goku, or he stole Goku's body because Goku was the one to beat him in a fight. In this scenario, in our future Gohan Black scenario, he would never be defeated by Gohan. He would just realize Gohan's the strongest, so I need to steal his body in order to get stronger, because, you know, gods are all born, like, at least Kais are all born as they are. They can't get stronger or nor weaker. So he would have to steal the strongest mortal's body, grow stronger from that to destroy all the other mortals. So he's using a mortal's body to destroy other mortals. And that's why he had to steal a mortal's body in the first place. That's why he couldn't do it himself, because he's a Kai. You know what I mean? He's the strongest Super Saiyan 2 Goku on a good day. So he's not going to be able to do it himself, so he had to just steal a body of somebody stronger than him, and that can constantly grow stronger in order to enact his plan. So it'd make him seem a lot more pragmatic and detailed and, you know, not petty, because pettiness is kind of like it's viewed, at least to me and a lot of other fans, I suppose, as a pathetic trigger to begin action. It speaks to emotional instability. You can't handle something, so effectively you crash out and be petty, right? Whereas he stole Gohan Gohan's body, he would be viewed as more, I'm doing this because this makes the most sense. Like, this is logical. You know, as I mentioned before, you know, you steal a body that can get stronger so that he can, you know, take out all the mortals, because obviously he's a Kai, so he can't grow stronger and he's not strong. So him stealing Gohan's body would be viewed as the pragmatic choice, and it'd be much more, I guess, well received as a villain, opposed to him just being petty because he got beat up by Goku. Which, I mean, he is petty towards Goku, but at the same time, Goku is the one that beat his ass and has the strongest body that he's aware of, because this is before Jiren was introduced, right? Which I guess you could say, why didn't he steal Jiren's body? Jiren wasn't introduced as a character, okay, but he probably also just didn't know about Jiren. I don't know. Maybe Jiren wasn't as strong as Goku at this point. Maybe he just had a crazy power boost from the Goku Black arc to the Tournament of Power. I don't know. And so going back to Sparking Zero, the way that Gohan Black is defeated is essentially, it kind of goes the same way. There's not really much of a difference between the story once Gohan Black is revealed to future Trunks, because it doesn't hit the same, because it's not his Gohan, it's just a Gohan. So it's kind of just the same thing again. I mean, the dialogue choices are a little bit different. Like, instead of Goku saying, hey, that guy looks like me, he just doesn't not say that.
Hey, it's me, Goku!
So I mean, there's not really much of a difference, and it kind of basically it's just the same thing. There is no Rose, and he still fuses with himself to create Fuse Zamos, which if it was future Gohan, that's why I wanted to be future Gohan Black, so that's more of an emotional trigger to Trunks. Also speaks to Trunks' power, especially if you decide to keep Super Saiyan Rage. It speaks to Gohan's power, that he decided to steal Gohan's body, but the only Gohan's body that he had access to was future Gohan's body, which is still fine because he was using Goku's body to get stronger anyways, right? It's like when he first was introduced, he couldn't go Rose. In the manga, he went Super Saiyan and then later went Rose, which in the show didn't go Rose until after he fought in base form multiple times first. And we even see a scene where he was talking to his other Zamos self that he needed to get stronger and get, you know, conditioned to the body. So obviously in this scenario, I would have Trunks. He can still use the bullshit Super Saiyan Rage Spirit Bomb sword thing, Sword of Hope, to, you know, cut and slice him away after, you know, Vegito pulls up and, you know, beats his ass for a little bit for Trunks to come and deal the finishing blow. That can still happen. I wouldn't have, in my version, I wouldn't have him turn into the universe and Xeno has to be called. Basically, I would want Trunks to actually be the one to deal the finishing blow, and I want Trunks to be on the forefront. As I was saying before, which I was going to mention, but then I didn't. As I was saying before, when like, I want the side characters, as I was mentioning with Krillin, Yamcha, Tien, all the other side characters, they're still actively doing things in the story. Trunks is literally doing nothing. After the Goku Black arc, he goes back to a universe where he admired the only two people that exist, except for like a handful of like survivors, I guess, but I think pretty sure they all got cooked by the mouth laser beams at the end when Zamos turned himself into the universe. Trunks and Mai are effectively doing nothing in that universe, except I guess, you know, getting it on. But they're cooked. Like there's no reason for them, like there's nothing for them to do. Like it's not like, oh, they're off doing this. Like no. And a couple of videos ago I mentioned that Trunks should just canonically just be a time patroller at all times now, which I was debating actually making a YouTube video about separately. Let me know if you want to hear that, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. But I don't think that we want a whole video. I think Trunks should be a time patroller at all times, like Jocko Intergalactic Patrol, Trunks Time Patrol. I don't know, make that a canonical thing. But I at least want to know that he's doing something, because as I said before, my philosophy is that if you introduce a character in the story, they have to do something. You know, don't have a character exist and they just do nothing. Like I just feel that every character should have a role in the story, and if they don't have a role in the story, they should not be around. They should not be in the story. They shouldn't exist as a character. You know, it's kind of like Might Guy and Boruto. Even if that's not the case, even if Trunks still ends up doing nothing in the end, at least we have more interaction with his character, and we can make it even dive deeper into like his PTSD, his trauma, whatever it is. You know, obviously it speaks to Gohan's character, probably most important to the actual continuing story, because Gohan is still in the story. Now he has beast mode, so it would continuously speak to Gohan's character, because that he basically, where he was at the Tournament of Power, at least in the manga, he would already be at in Resurrection OF, because he never stopped training. So then by the time we get to the Tournament of Power, he probably already got beast mode or some shit already. I don't know. But either way, that's essentially my entire take. I kind of wanted this again to be like a yap session. I didn't want it to necessarily be formal, so that's why it seemed a bit unformatted or perhaps even maybe unprofessional. I wanted to get back to more like the golden take format, you know what I mean? Like, cause I've been doing a lot of tier lists, and I just wanted, you know, change it up a little bit and go back to my original golden takes in the shorts and turn them into a long video format, which I was doing before I started doing a bunch of tier lists. And it was kind of just like a thought I had. I hope you enjoyed, and let me know what you think about this video, my thought, my golden take, and my cooking, not cooking, overcooking, undercooking. Let me know if you have any problems with the Goku Black arc, or like if you think the Goku Black arc is perfect, if you would replace Goku Black with like Gohan Black or Goten Black or any other character. Let me know down in the comments. And while you're down there commenting, make sure to like and subscribe to join GLD, and to let me know you like this type of content. And since you like this type of content, make sure to turn on post notifications so you don't miss the content that you literally like. And last but not least, tell a friend or family member. Helps the channel grow, the content grow, and so you don't have to watch alone. It can really and truly be anybody. It can be your brother, sister, niece, nephew, son, daughter, mom, dad, aunt, uncle, grandma, granddad. My name is Goldie, aka GOD, and that's all I got for today. So, bye bye.